Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. It is reasonably early in the morning today. I was up early and have made myself a nice cup of tea. And before I actually do a reading, which I'll put in a separate video, I just wanted to let you know that there has been a substantial increase in, I'm not going to call them trolls, they are Trump supporters who are wanting to be let in, wanting to have, when I say let in, they're wanting their views. They're wanting to tell me that their view, that, about their views on what's going on. This, I think, is largely, it's quite a phenomena, isn't it? This is largely in response, I think, to the shutting down of the fake president over on Twitter and on Parler. It's actually the big tech response to what happened in the Capitol has been nothing short of long overdue. I know you were going to think, I thought I was going to say amazing, but long overdue came out. They had let this go on for so long that it became blatantly clear that they were part of the problem. They weren't helping to fix the problem. So since that has happened, fake president has been banned on Facebook at least until after his presidency, and Instagram and WhatsApp. And Spotify even took him down too. Of course, Parler, Twitter, of course, is a lifetime ban. Thank goodness. A lot of his power and reach is gone. A lot of followers of the Republicans migrated over to Parler. Well, Amazon then announced that Parler would no longer be able to use their servers. So it's gone down for a few weeks, or it's available obviously on computer and laptop, but the app is no longer there. Or whatever has happened to it, because I don't Google it. But suffice to say that big business is moving away from this in droves. There's a couple of reasons for that. I'm sure if he was re-elected, this probably wouldn't have happened. God knows where any of us would be if that had have occurred. But we have a new administration coming in, and one who's imminently responsible. So a lot of these comments call me a communist, call Biden a communist, call all of you a communist. Where is that springing from? Because it's responsible government. It really is. So I come back to the comments that I've made about our society over the last few weeks, which have become abundantly clear. There is the racism, and it's not just in the US, although you've got your Civil War history there. And I remember reading, I think it was from Heather Cox, the historian, a definition of why American socialism is not the same as Russian communism. And that goes back to black people getting the vote in America, and government then being set up to provide resources to those who were paying taxes. And of course, as society progressed away from, the abhorrence of enslaving another human being, the vote, then came employment, then came taxes, then came government allocating those resources to taxpayers. And of course, there were people who thought that black people should not have access to those resources, including Social Security. So when people say you're a communist and Biden's going to turn the US into a communist state, this is some of the thinking that is around at the moment. There's so much fear that somehow people who are different from your quintessential Trump supporter shouldn't or don't deserve to have what they've got, even though, and you see that all the time, you see that building, that momentum has been building over the last 4 years. Owners of units, condominiums in, expensive areas, they go to get to the pool, they're called out by white people saying that they don't belong there. Yet they have bought fair and square the condominium. Their right is to be there, legally, financially, every other way. So what is this? What is this? I think at the basis of Trumpism, in my from looking over here, and I might say before I digress a little bit, in the Australian Parliament there are two, we call them backbenchers. They're members of Parliament who don't have a portfolio, a ministerial portfolio. They're not up the front of the bench, so to speak. And these backbenchers in our, I'm not even going to call things Conservative Party and Progressive Party. I'm going to say these people who are against responsible government have looked at what happened at the Capitol and said it was Antifa, however you pronounce it. It was Antifa. For goodness sake. These same people led a charge to get rid of the last Liberal National Party Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, because he had a renewable energy policy. And then, of course, we've had our rise of our extremist right-wing parties. So, responsible government. If we look up the definition of politics, what does politics mean? The activities associated with the governance of a country or area, especially the debate between parties having power. That's one meaning. The other meaning is activities aimed at improving someone's status or increasing power within an organisation. So if government is allocating resources to taxpayers, taking power, gaining power in politics is about seeing that those resources, you have the power then to see that those resources go in a particular way. So, Biden being a communist, what's he going to do? Allocate resources away from people who aren't paying their fair share of taxes? Clean things up so that people down the line, the workers who are paying taxes every day, every week, get a bit more because they need a bit more? I was talking about this to my partner this morning, and he said something quite interesting. He said, if we go back to, I know this is a bit of a rant, but this has been triggered by these people who are looking to be believed, looking to be supported. It's more than hurt. They actually are looking to try and find that power again because they don't agree. They don't agree with the allocations of resources or how the allocation of resources, government resources, is going to be under a Biden government. But all land was owned. When I say owned, that's a Western terminology. All land was lived upon, cared for, nurtured by Indigenous peoples who had a system of government, if you want to call it that, which some might describe as socialist. And that worked very well for them. That meant that the resources were shared amongst every member of the tribe because every member of the tribe contributed to the health and the wealth and the sustainability of the tribe. Yeah, we've a lot to learn, haven't we? And I think that the events of the past couple of weeks, and no doubt in Australia, we are heading for some kind of litmus test as well. We have our own share of extremists. We have our own share of people who call people like me communists. People who want to see that everybody gets looked after, those in need are cared for, abhor violence, abhor attacks on people due to their politics, covert or overt. People like me are communists. Yeah, no. People like me are people who pursue the truth, who pursue responsible government. That's who I am. Call me I don't know what you would call me. Freedom fighter, maybe? I like that term. We're all freedom fighters. All right, so I just want to say that I'm moderating heavily at the moment. Please don't embed links and think that your comment is going to stay there, because when I follow the embedded link down, YouTube has blocked it to an unsafe site. So no, zero tolerance with embedded links. Just don't do it. Yeah, those people who have come across to try and convert us, we can't. We're not going to be converted to Trumpism. So it's just a waste of your time as you type in the comment. You know, people who come across and say, "Well, your cards are right, but you aren't." I think that's probably the funniest comment that I removed. Your cards are right, but you're not. In other words, you might have a good record of predictions of getting to the truth, but you are not right. So, you know, I keep a sense of humour. One thing I'm going to do, and I'd ask you to do as well, before I start my readings, I always do my prayer, I Am the Light, by Consuelo Newton, who's since passed over, a light worker who's since passed over. I am the light. The light is within me. The light moves through me. The light surrounds me. The light protects me. I am the light. Can I get you to say that as you're watching? Because that will repel negative energies, and that's what we're about here. You know, we want to have a discourse. We want to have a sane discourse. We want to look at what is knowledge, what is acceptable knowledge, what is knowledge that is true, and we want to end this era, this foul era of Trumpism, this stain that culminated in a riot on the US seat of government in Congress. So with that, don't forget the I Am the Light prayer. I want to thank you again for your support. The other day I hadn't slept much and I jumped on and read. I'm absolutely fine, but like you, I have life's I don't know what you would call them, learnings, challenges, relationships, loved ones to care for. My life is similar to yours, with all its challenges. So I just didn't sleep that night very well. So I'm absolutely okay. I've learned to take good care of myself. So it's a shame. It's a shame that, at some point we're going to have to learn to dialogue with one another. But right now the extremes, there's too much of an extremist, violent element now to do too much dialogue. But hopefully when this, we'll read, I think I'm itching to do this really deep dive into this delusional stuff that's been going on where people can't accept the truth. Well, they don't even see it. It's like they're walking around blind. The shattering of the glass is what needed to occur so that we can see what's behind it. And on that note, I'm going to take a sip of tea, close this down, and post a reading on whether or not the fake president will actually be impeached. Why am I calling him the fake president? Because he doesn't act very presidentially, does he? He didn't act to protect the people in that building. He incited it. So, yes, he's a fake president. He didn't uphold his oath. Fake president. All right. I'll be back again.